Okay, welcome to Stock Dogs Unleashed. Today we're going to have a really neat episode. Hopefully it just turns out amazing and everybody enjoys it, but we're going to do a Mike Bartlett memorial and let all of his family and friends come in and give us great stories about Mike and how they know him and things they've done with him.
Yeah, no, this is a great man. We're here to celebrate the life of Michael Ray Bartlett. He was born on August 30th, 1958, and passed away September 12th, 2025. He was a dear friend to me and a lot of the dog community. He's one of the very first people I ever met, and was very accepting and was always there with open arms with anything you needed. So I'm looking forward to hearing some stories and celebrating his life.
Yep, we're definitely going to miss him at every dog trial we go to from here on out.
Yep.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Great.
We'll just let you tell us how you know Mike Bartlett and get into whatever you want to tell us about him.
You know, Mike Bartlett was probably the easiest person I ever got to meet. He was smiling all the time. He was interested in the same things I was interested in. I didn't really know much about his raising, but I knew that him and I had a big connection through dogs and horses and rodeo and sale barns, and he was quite a friend of mine, and I'm so proud to have known him.
Yep. Thank you very much,
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Hey, we're here back and we've got another friend of Mike's. Could you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from and how you knew him?
My name is Bruce Murray. I'm sure there's people here that knew Mike longer than I have, but I've known Mike since he was about 16 years old. I went to school with Mike, and believe it or not, back when we was in school, Mike was not a cowboy.
Really?
Mike rode motorcycles and had long hair and was a great guy. Mike's always been a great guy.
Yep.
And I worked for a ranch that I was watching a herd of cows for him up to Schofield, and I'd come home on the weekends, and Mike ran into me. The big hangout spot in Springville was at the High Spot there on Main Street, which is no longer there. But Mike ran into me, and he asked, what are you doing? And I told him, well, I'm kind of babysitting a herd of cows up Schofield. And he says, oh, that sounds like so much fun. He says, do you think I could come do that with you? And I says, absolutely. I says, I leave on Monday morning and I go up and I stay up there all week and I come home on Friday night. And I said, you're more than welcome to come up and go with me. And so Mike came up with me on Monday, and at that time, he didn't even own a pair of cowboy boots. And he come up with a pair of lace-up work boots on and no cowboy hat. And the first thing, we got up to my camp, and I had an old navy blue cowboy hat at the time that I had wore completely out. And it just hung on the wall there at the trailer. And he asked me if he could have that, and I says, yeah, you can have it. It's wore out, but yeah, you're more than welcome to it. From that day on, he wore that hat till it was virtually just about a rag. And when he could afford to, he bought himself boots, a cowboy hat, and from then on, that's all Mike knew, was being a cowboy.
It's awesome.
And over the years, Mike and I have had some super times together. We've had some sad times together, happy times together, mad times together. And I loved the guy. I loved him, and he loved me, and we spent a lifetime together. And I could go on and on and on about the stories with Mike. And, you know, I started out this saying that Mike wasn't always a cowboy, but Mike was really always a cowboy. He had that mentality. He loved the life and all that it entailed. And I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him more than I care to say.
You and me both.
Go ahead.
You and me both.
Oh, he was the kind of guy. I've told people I never been so mad at anybody in my life as I was at Mike at different times. But when it come to riding, when I rode, I always wanted to ride with Mike. I always wanted to be with him. And he made me feel like I was the person that he wanted to be with. And he was always the person that I wanted to be with. I love him. I love his family. It's going to be hard on them, but they're going to get through it. They're going to get through it because Mike would want them to get through it. And it's a rough time, and I'm seeing lots and lots of people that I haven't seen for 40 or 50 years. And it's a real tribute to Mike that they're all here. I thank you guys for this opportunity. I could go on and on and on about stories with Mike and the things that we shared, the things that we enjoyed, horse wrecks, all kinds of good stuff that we spent a lifetime doing. And I truly am grateful for the opportunity I've had to be with Mike and to be his friend, be somebody that I could honestly say he's a brother to me. Thank you guys a bunch.
Thank you. Thank you. Here with Roy Cox. Roy, will you tell us a little bit about Mike and how you know him?
You know, I was fortunate enough to meet Mike through the dogs. And the thing that really struck me about Mike, he enjoyed going to a dog trial every once in a while. But Mike was a person that really focused on true stockmanship, how to handle cattle properly with his dogs. And that's what I really appreciated him. 60 odd years old and still willing to learn and be an empty vessel. A tremendous guy. Gonna be missed terribly.
Have you ever another friend? Can you just introduce yourself and where you're from and how you know Mike?
So I am Chase Murray, and Mike's known me longer than I can even remember. I started riding with Mike when I was about 8 years old, and my dad bought me a real good horse, and I rode him that first year. And when I was about 9, Mike said, "All right, it's time to give Shorty a break, and you need to start riding some other horses." So, and I mean, I rode with him every summer till I was 17, and every day after school I went down to the barn and hung out with him and rode colts and did whatever we were doing that day. So, but I mean, Chet and Slade, Casey, Tyson, and Bobby and Rusty, they're all just brothers and sisters, and it's kind of how we were raised. So, yeah.
Good. And he was out there doing some fun cowboy stuff. I'm sure you've seen some
Oh,
wrecks
yeah.
and
Yep.
good stuff. He was always such a
Yeah, lots of miles leading pack horses around, and the dang sure wasn't always fun, but we had a good time. So, yeah.
perfect.
So,
Anything else?
just love him, and he meant a whole bunch to me. So, and yep, thank you.
Thank you. Hello, we're here again, and could you introduce yourself and how you know Mike, and if you got a fun story?
I'm Travis Swenson.
Okay.
Known Mike since I was probably 10, for sure. A lot of miles. Rode a lot of miles together. Chased a lot of cows.
Yeah.
You got any good stories?
I don't know about good ones.
Rough ones? Accidents?
There might have been a time or two where me and him couldn't rode all night.
You're okay. Come sit down.
Probably one of the first times I ever rode with Mike. I was probably 12.
Okay.
And I think we rode off of Cottonwood Ridge. Seen some of the biggest elk, seen some of the biggest deer, and rode for probably 10 hours in the snow.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, dang.
Rode off some steep stuff and slid our horses down and skied.
One thing about Mike, we never would quit.
No, it's just me and him. I was probably 10. I don't know. That was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he'd been late 30s.
Yeah.
Been a lot of fun. It was just me and him trailing along and working cows. That's all I really remember about Mike. We had a lot of fun.
Yep.
That's good.
Thank you
Roped a
very
lot.
much.
Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Go ahead and hit stop.
Thank you. That was good.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, could you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and Mike's story?
Oh, is there a camera going also?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry about that.
it's
I
okay.
wish that was better.
Oh, no, this is great.
But I've been around for a long while, and I knew Mike from the time he was little. I mean, I can remember him. We had a farm up on the bench in Springville, and he was friends with Jeff Osborne and Bruce Murray, and they'd ride horses together once in a while. I can remember he coming up the lane, and he was just a whipping and a spur on this. He didn't like this horse. I don't know. But I'll never forget. And then they were young. They were probably 12 or 13 or not very old. And then I had permits on Hollow Creek. I was a permittee up there and had permits for a long time and knew Mike a lot. And there's a lot of stories. But I always admired Mike. I mean, there was some bad things that happened in his life, but he made good things out of it. And he touched many people's lives, and that's really the tribute that they need to know.
Yep.
What was your name?
My name's Kent Murdoch, and my wife's Carolyn, and my son's Dave, and Dave knew him.
Nice to meet you, Ken.
Yep. Well, okay. There's
I appreciate it.
2 bits worth.
Heck
Thank
yeah.
you.
Okay.
Sure. All right, DJ, we're excited to hear from you. If you got any good stories about Mike and
How you knew him and met him and
Yeah, I was trying to think of how I met Mike. I'm sure it was dog trialing I'm sure it was dog trialing somewhere. I think some of my favorite memories of Mike is he's just genuinely a kind person. You know, he would take the time to speak with everybody. I think just by the looks of the crowd out here today, it speaks volumes for the type of person that he was and what he stood for. And he was passionate about everything he did, livestock, family. He would stop and visit with every single person that he ran into at a dog trial, or I ran into him at the livestock auction, or gathering cattle. I came down and helped him gather cattle off the mountain with Rooster 2 years ago, and I just remember he wanted to share all of his knowledge and all of his experiences, and he was really happy to take the time to do that. And he just genuinely a caring person, right? I mean, you could call Mike any time of day, and he would answer the phone, and he was happy to drop whatever he was doing and come help you out, right? Whether it was literally to save you on the side of the road or to give you some advice or anything. Yeah. When I heard about his passing, I opened up Facebook and pulled up his page, mostly because I didn't really believe it. I was still in denial, and I remember the last several posts he made, and I just thought, what a great reflection that was of Mike and the life that he lived. He had posted about a short video of his granddaughter helping him feed his dogs.
Yeah.
And how grateful he was for that. And some clips of Earl and how proud he was, of the work that Earl had been doing. And, he's just passionate. And I just thought that was a great reflection on the life that he lived. And, he was proud of his family and proud of the things that he could do with livestock, I think. I know he was proud of his boys and the legacy that they're carrying on in his footsteps. So, yeah.
Well, thanks,
He
Dave.
will be missed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a good story about Mike?
All right, my name's Ty Tingy, and I currently live in Salem. And Michael was a dear friend of mine. We met at a young age. I knew who Michael was, but we didn't become really close probably till, I'm going to say, about 30 years ago. And people won't know this, but I'm going to share it. Michael Bartlett spoke at one of my dear friend's funerals. And to this day, and I've heard a lot of speakers and been around a lot of prominent people and that kind of stuff, but to this day, Michael Bartlett delivered the strongest heartfelt message at that funeral I had ever heard. And you wouldn't put Michael in that category of, he was.
Really?
And actually, when that was over, and I don't know why, I was compelled to write Michael a letter and told him what a great job he did. And from that point forward, we just became very, very good friends. And I don't know that I've been around anybody that had a want for so little and had so much. He lived at my feedlot for, and I was trying to think, but I'm going to say somewhere between 12 and 15 years. I had a little trailer house out there that I'd been renting, and, I needed somebody there at my feedlot to take care of things, and Michael, somehow we got together, and I said, Mike, I want you to move in there, and he was needing a place, and he stayed, and Michael was just almost a godsend to me because I was spending a lot of time in Colorado. I had a job out there. I had a herd of cows out there, and I could call in, and Michael, I got this kettle coming in, and Michael was Johnny on the spot, and I knew everything was taken care of. Mm-hmm. Had no doubts in my mind. And I can tell you a million stories about the guy, and they're all just, how could you be as good a guy as Michael was? So I don't know that I want to go there because I don't know which one means more to me than the next one. But, like I say, we did every aspect that there was. I was a horrible dog guy. didn't even like them. When Michael showed up with his dogs, it was a different story.
Right.
You got to kind of look at Michael as one of those people that had some type of second or sixth sense, I want to say, that a lot of people don't have. So all I can say is to all those who knew Michael, you are blessed and in many ways than you'll ever know if you will use it and listen to him. To all those who didn't know him, they're at a bigger loss than we are.
Yep.
I am so proud to call him my friend. And the inspiration, just the type of person he was. Michael was as honest as you could get there. I don't think he was a church-going man. Pretty sure of that. But I'll tell you what, if everybody in the world was like Michael, it'd be a better place. Better place. And I don't know if his family's going to listen to this, and I kind of talked to him just a minute ago, but he was so proud of his boys, and I think they're on the right track, and they're going to go, and if they'll use what Michael taught them, life will be easy.
Yep. Yep.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it so much.
You're welcome.
Here is Doreen, and could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Mike?
Doreen McCourt. Clyde, he was too cowardly to come in. I knew he couldn't do it.
Yep.
And we met Mike probably 5-6 years ago when we was dog trialing.
Yep.
And what a man. What a man. I'm still shocked.
Yep.
But this gentleman that was before him, I mean, he called Mike to a T. And it's hard to follow a guy like that when he said it at all.
Yeah.
And that, but all my memories with Mike is watching him pull into them dog trials and working his dogs and talking to Val. And finals, his sheep camp, Clyde looked forward to do that.
Yeah.
And riding his mule. He loved his
Old
mule.
Slick.
Yeah,
Yep.
he tried to get Mike to sell him it.
Yeah.
He said, I'll sell him.
Yeah.
A lot of money. Clyde says, well, I don't want to pay that much. But he was a fun guy.
He was a really good guy.
Yep. And it
I know the first time I met you was at Mike's clinic,
Yeah, his
one of
clinic.
them that he put on.
We
And
went to a couple of them.
yep, he was passing around coffee to everybody. And
Yeah.
it's cold, raining.
Yes,
Yep.
it was. Cold and rainy. And
Yep. And Mike standing out there all day long in the rain,
yep.
putting on a clinic.
And he made sure we was all taken care of.
Yep.
It was something.
Good times.
It's still a shock.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate when I go to the funerals, want to see the family. I don't want to see him in the box.
Yep.
Because that is not my last memory.
Yep.
My last memory, Mike's, is on that picture that they posted him on that mule
Yep.
at the Old Timers.
Yep.
Yep.
And always helping you out. You know, and God, Mike, what did I do? Well, don't you know, this is kind of what I see.
Yeah.
So, okay, I appreciate that because I couldn't see it. Heck, I couldn't even hear it. But and that, but I just, he was a lovely man.
Yep.
Lovely man. And I'm glad you guys did this.
Yep.
Yep.
This is something that just people that couldn't get here could at least see what's going on
Yep.
and hear from the other people and that stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think it'll be a good thing for his family to look back on and
oh, you bet, and hear the memories
Yep.
of everybody else. And
yep, know how loved he was.
yes, he's definitely loved.
Yep.
But man, this is tough.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, Doreen.
You bet. I appreciate that.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
All right. You want to start us off? Tell us what your name is and how you know Mike and maybe some of your experiences.
Jed Corliss. I've known Mike for my whole life. Been very, very close friends for 25 years. I've always respected Mike. He always made me feel special. And he made me a better person just knowing him. Me and Mike would talk on the phone once a week, Mostly, we started talking about dogs. Most of our conversations ended with him bragging on his grandkids and his children. I think that's
Pretty good.
about it.
Thanks, Jed.
All right, if you want to just let us know who you are and tell us how you know Mike and any good stories you got.
Sounds good. Well, my name's Whit Hill, and I've truly known Mike Bartlett my whole life. You know, I grew up in Spanish Fork, and when I was young, there was 2 auctions in Spanish Fork, and Mike and I worked at both of them. We spent a lot of time at Utah Livestock Auction, and I always looked up to Mike a lot. You know, Mike kind of lived by the same code that I did. He's just a cowboy ran through him, and I just had a lot of respect for the way he conducted himself, the way he spoke. You know, and I've tried to do the same thing. You know, over the years, Mike's paths and I have crossed a lot. I've watched him with the kind of dad that he is. I've watched him with the kind of example he is, and I've always enjoyed it. You know, I guess you'd say Mike and I sat on many ridge tops. He was a great conversationalist. We'd talk about family. We'd talk about life. We'd talk about all the different things, and we believed a lot of the same things on how to handle cattle and what to do with them. And you know, I guess I don't have any particular story other than just lots of different miles, lots of different places. I just want to express to the people that'll hear this or watch this that what a great man he was, and what a great family man he was, and the way he conducted himself, and you know, the example he was, and as we just listened to, and the talks in his funeral, and the examples he was, and the impact he made on lives, and hopefully that everybody will understand that. You know, it was funny. I run cows up Hobble Creek Canyon, and last Sunday I saddled my horse, and you know, Mike and I, let me back up. Mike and I, you know, love dogs, and I think we both always dreamed of a life where we could saddle a horse and have our dogs with us and go do what we love. And last Sunday I saddled my horse. It was a beautiful morning. Headed up the canyon, had a couple of good dogs with me, and I truly felt Mike with me all day. He was a great man, and I'll remember him always for all the days we spent together.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're here with Michael Dow, and Michael, do you want to tell how you know Mike and tell us the story? And
yeah, so I know Mike for a long time, since I was a little kid. Knew of him. He, you know, everyone knew Mike Bartlett's name, even if you didn't know the person. And when I was a kid, you know, we went to the Spanish Fork auction, and you know, Mike was there. You know, I didn't really know him, but you saw him, you noticed him. And then as we got older, our paths crossed at some horse sales and some cow sales and whatnot. And I think it was 2017 or 2018, I got a call from some folks that ran cows up Hobble Creek, and they had a fire up there, and they needed help getting the cows out. And that's where I really met Mike, you know, shook his hand, introduced myself, and we were buddies since then. And he rode up to me, and I was like, gosh, I don't remember that guy that I knew, Mike Bartlett, that I'd heard of riding a mule. What the heck? I'd never been around mules, really. But man, that mule, it might have been the same one, I don't know. But he was sure impressive. For a hair second, I thought about converting, but that didn't last very long. But, and then, yeah, so after that, you know, I had my dogs with me, and after that, you know, Mike had kept in touch, and we talked to each other, and probably a year, 2 years later, I saw him at a trial, and he said he'd been working some dogs, got some dogs I think from Richard, and been working some dogs, and the rest is history.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Good man.
Thanks. All right. Why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are and how you know Mike Bartlett?
Yeah, so my name's Alistair McMillan. I met Mike in around 2020 at dog trials. We got pretty close pretty fast. I actually started calling him Uncle Mike because he felt like a grandpa to me, but I felt bad calling him Grandpa Mike, so Uncle Mike it was, and kind of stuck. One thing that stuck out to me about him is he was a true cowboy. I used to train horses for about 8-10 years, and every time I told people that, they'd say, "So you're a cowboy?" And I'd say, "No. It's an insult to people like Uncle Mike." You know, he was a true cowboy. Did it the right way for a long time. And we could all learn a little bit about being a good person from the way he lived his life.
You're right.
In late 2022, early 2023, I went through one of the hardest times in my life, and not many people knew it. But Uncle Mike could sense it. For about 6 months, he'd call me twice a week, Wednesdays and Sundays. And I didn't have a washer and dryer at the time, so I'd be at the laundromat, and take me about 2.5 hours, and he'd talk to me the whole time, just making sure I was okay. And to be honest, some days I don't know if I would have made it through without Uncle Mike. Now my goal is be like Mike. You know, live life the way Mike would be proud. And treat people the way he did. No matter who you were, he gave you dignity and respect. Never judged you for what you did or the mistakes you made. And Uncle Mike may not have been perfect, but if I can get close to living like Uncle Mike, I'll be happy.
You'll be doing something good.
Yeah. That's what I got to say.
Well, thank you.
That's
Thanks.
very nice.
Yeah.
I am Becky. I am Tucker Hutchings' mom. And I don't know if Mike will ever know what he did for my son. But, sorry, I'm a hot mess.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
It's okay.
He came into my son's life when we were going through a pretty rough go. I didn't know the path that Tucker would take. We'd always had horses, always had that in our life, but he was angry at life right then and had every right to be. And Mike just quietly took him under his wings. His boys befriended him. They loved him for who he was. And Mike did that as well. He taught him so many things, not just about horses and dogs, but about how to be a man, how to treat a woman, how to be a friend. And I will forever be grateful for this family. And it was an honor today to be able to provide lunch for everybody. I hope they know that it was an honor for us. And as I was getting things ready in the dark this morning, I just was prompted always to be looking up, and I could feel his presence, whether he was there. But one of my favorite memories was right before he passed, he took a horse of mine that she was wild. So I was grateful that I was able to see him that week. And I just look at what that week's turned into. But your family's a blessing. Your grandpa was a blessing and your dad's a blessing. So thank you for today.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us your name and how you know Mike and some stories about him that you'd like to share.
My name is Tucker Hutchings. Excuse me. I met Mike through Rooster. I consider him my best friend. And yeah, we were friends, good friends in high school from like right off the bat. We just clicked, and he started, you know, I was always super interested about their way of life, and it wasn't necessarily mine. And they slowly kind of started, you know, I asked, and they slowly started bringing me into things, and that's how I met Mike. And from the first time I met him, he's just a special person, you know. Like I wanted to make him proud, you know. So they started bringing me to do cow work, and I wanted to learn how to rope, you know, and just anything I could go and do, and I really enjoyed it, you know. And I can't express enough to them how grateful I am for them to bring me in, and to this day feel a part of it. You know, it really does mean a lot to me. And you know, it kind of happened in a time in my life where, you know, I don't know who I wanted to be or where I wanted to go or anything like that. And it couldn't have been a better time, because it just, without meeting them, like I don't know where I'd be, you know. But I do consider them family, and I'd do anything for them. But Mike was always, he had a way of explaining things without saying a lot. Like, and I always looked up to him a lot about just how to act in general. Like, I always admired, you know, he would stand up for what was right, you know. Even as simple as, you know, if there was women and kids around, you know, he'd take his hat off, and just gentleman, and just a good example, and always someone to look up to, just how to be, you know. And little things like, I could always tell, you know, when I'd come and brand and, you know, trying to learn, like it's pretty tough, you know, there's a lot going on. And he would come find you when you needed to hear it, and he would give you some advice and just help you. I just felt like they took me under their wing, and it really means a lot to me and helped me. But yeah, I just want to express to them how grateful I am that I'm a part of their life. And
that's a really good story.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
One funny one. I had a colt. He hadn't been roped off before, and I remember asking Mike. I said, Mike, what's your advice for roping on one for the first time in a branding pen? And he just kind of pauses and looks, and he says, don't get bucked off. I said, okay, you know, I'll try. And well, as you can imagine, I did get bucked off, but at least there was a crowd to see it, and got a good laugh. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But just what a special character, and
yep, he was.
I'm just super proud of all of them. How they're very involved with each other, and they're there for each other. They really are.
Yep, that's awesome. Yeah. Awesome family.
Yeah, they are.
Good family.
They mean a lot. So
good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My name's Chance Horrocks. I met Mike Bartlett through the working dog trialing. But the very first time was at a clinic that he put on, And it was really special. It was really awesome. It was a turning point in my life with my dogs. I learned a lot, and Mike was very welcoming, very kind person. The stuff I really liked about Mike, I'd go to the dog trials, he just made me feel welcome, always say hi, always say, he's glad to see me and ask me about my dogs, how everything was going. And he was known for having one of the toughest dogs in trialing. Every time you could count on Ike getting a nose, riding that cow all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And Mike was just really, really, really accepting. I watched him a lot, freaking. I admired him. I admired how he treated people. Funny story, my favorite story is, I think it was last winter. His dog was running amok. And Mike, when he'd lose his temper, would run down the arena a lot of times growling, ah. And this last time, he was mad enough, he went all the way down in front of everyone and freaking picked up his dog and bit her on the nose right in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. That was Mike. That was like, oh, he lost his temper.
Yeah.
And it was as long as it wasn't pointed at you, it was fun to watch.
Yep.
So that's my story about Mike.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Travis Balch. I knew Mike through dog trials, and he's one of the very first people I ever met, talked to. He was real accepting of everyone knew, and when he met you, and you could feel the love and genuineness of him. If he said, and I know everyone that met him, if you're on the road or needed something, he'd be the first person. He'd say, if you need anything, you call me. And he's one of the very few people that truly meant he'd drop everything and come help you wherever you were, or make sure you're okay. We talked on the phone a lot about things, and he's just a good man, and to be remembered as one of the great human beings. Getting around, he did take time to tell you things, and he'd ask your opinions, and he'd call at all the right times. If he just, I don't know how he knew, but he knew. Yeah. And he'll be sorely missed by lots of people. That's all I can go.